It is Tuesday, the 19th of July, 2022, and this is episode 28. Yes, episode 28 of All Back to Mine, one of my talk shows. It's 8:30 p.m. UK time. It is 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's because my special guest today is coming from Washington, D.C. But before I introduce her, if you're watching this back on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. It's free. If you're watching or listening on Mixcloud, hit that follow button. If you're watching on Twitch, follow and join the chat. Come and say hello. We'll give you a shout out and ask any questions you like. But my very special guest today, she was born in the Philippines, spent her early years there. She then moved to DC. She's been a successful DJ and photographer for many, many years, involved in lots of really interesting and amazing projects, which I'm sure we'll talk about. And now she's a brilliant personality on Twitch and has been on 45-day live stream and lots of other great raid events. And it is Les the DJ, and here she is. How you doing?
Good. I'm just trying to host you. 1 second.
Of course. While you're doing that, I'm going to say to everyone else, host the channel. If you'd like to host, /host, and then 45-day. And obviously, let's get as many people in here as possible as we can. But yeah, so how have you been today? How's it going?
I am so tired. I haven't had a weekend yet. I haven't had I should say I haven't had a day off yet. I'm still recuperating this weekend. I had a total of, I guess, over 12 hours of all vinyl DJing.
Wow. And that, I mean, it takes it out of you. People don't realize how tiring vinyl DJing is.
Especially because one of them was I only played 7 inches. For 3 hours straight at a Japanese restaurant. I only played Japanese releases.
Wow.
So, yeah, that was exhausting.
Yeah, well, that's the beauty, but also the downside of playing 7s, isn't it? Because it does keep you on your toes, but you've only got 3.5 minutes at most before you have to get the next record ready, and it's just it's work. It is work. It's not easy.
The reason aside from the fact that it's a Japanese restaurant, but they don't really, like, none of the other DJs play Japanese music apparently, because it's they have DJs there every Fridays and Saturdays, from what I know.
Right.
And the reason for me bringing that is that because the space is so small, and when I did my first set there, I didn't know where to put my record bag.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna play 7 inches here. So
yeah.
And this month, usually my residency there is third Saturdays. It's at Daikaya in Chinatown in DC.
Okay.
There's a DJ that needs people to sub. So when I sub for him, I'm probably gonna play other music to other, but I'm just gonna bring 7 inches because it's just so small. It's I get a little claustrophobic, to be honest with you.
Fair enough. I'm going to say hello to a couple of people already in the chat. We've got Ollie 1111.
Oi, that's my husband.
Oi, 11. Okay, I met him a few minutes ago. And yes. We've got the also brilliant DJ Vinyl Honey.
Vinyl Honey, she's my friend. She's my real life friend now. We hung out in person a few weeks ago.
Well, I mean, we will get to that, but that's the amazing thing that's starting to and has happened already. But we'll come back to that in a minute. But anyway, this is all back to mine. The premise of the show is, if I was to come to your house in DC, who knows, one day it might happen. But if I came to your house in DC, and we got Shotgun Shima as well, who's actually on the show next week, and yes. Todd, I need a logo. I need a logo from you, and then I can do the flyer. But anyway, Shotgun Shima's on next week. But yeah, if I was to come to your house in DC and you were to say to me, I've got these 7 sevens that, you have to hear. They're really cool, or they're really good, or they mean a lot to me, or there's a theme, or whatever it is. So that's the premise of the show. But it's with a little bit of sort of interview as well. And hi to Mark Lancaster, who's been on the show. Hi to Cut Class, who's also been on the show as well. But we always start with what Cut Class is termed the sort of origin story. Where do people begin? So as far as you're concerned, when did you first get into music, and who were your sort of musical influences from a young age?
Okay, first of all, I'm a little confused. It says all back to mine. Christos talks with Jake less the DJ. Who's Jake?
Oh my goodness, that's my fault. That is my error. That is my error because the last guest was Jake Detonator, and I've
Oh my
made an
god,
error. So it's
I'm
my error.
not
Let me
I'm not
change.
Jake less the DJ.
You are not
But
Jake.
if you're gonna
Let's
change it, if you can just change oh okay. Cause
let me get let
my
me put it to that
oh
instead. There we go.
okay.
Let's do that. So people don't get confused again. Who's Jake Les the DJ?
I am not. I'm like Jake Les the DJ. Yeah, and also my DJ name is stylized as Les the DJ with a capital T. So for
Yeah.
later. But anyways, origin story. I'm not sure. I grew up in the Philippines, and music is just everywhere. The moment you wake up, neighbors would be playing music. My grandparents would be playing the AM radio. All afternoon, people would be singing in their minus one. Are y'all old enough to know what minus ones are? It's like I guess before people before I knew that people started karaoke, calling it karaoke, it was minus one,
Okay.
meaning the voice. So
So
yeah,
karaoke -1. That's what it was called there. Is that
minus one. We called it minus
-1?
one.
So that's minus the voice. So obviously the
Yeah.
instrumental. So yeah, okay,
Uh-huh.
that's interesting. I've not heard that before. That's interesting.
Yeah. So you
Uh,
can actually find some Filipino 7 inches, and then the it doesn't say instrumental on the other side. It says minus one on the other side, but it's just like no
ah,
singing.
that is interesting. And that would be on a 7, would it? That would be on a 7-inch release.
Oh, no, the minus ones were on tape. It's on whatever format. But when I was growing up, it was mostly, I remember it would be mostly on tape.
Okay, okay, that's really interesting. And what sort of music? Philippine music or other
Oh,
styles?
everything. So after, Spanish colonization, and then America came. There was
Yeah.
the Filipino American War, and also there were U.S. bases in the Philippines. So the music that we had is like really from all over the world, like what I grew up listening to. Like one of the things that was funny is that I noticed, after moving to America and people complain like, y'all should speak in English. Everyone should speak in English. And I'm like, why? And he goes like, I come from a country where we all speak, a lot of us speak in different languages. Like
Yeah.
we don't have, we have a national language, but like, for example, within my family, like my grandmother on my dad's side and my grandfather on my father's side, they both speak Kapampangan, but we all speak Tagalog. We all speak in English. But
Right.
anyways, my point is, for example, one of the hits growing up that I loved to sing was Lanza Perfume by Rita Lee and Roberto. Rita Lee from Osmotantes, remember?
Yeah.
And it's in Portuguese, and I can sing it. Like I could sing the whole thing, but I don't understand it. So that's a
Okay.
definitely a minus one hit, Lanza Perfume. So yeah, not just Filipino music to answer your question.
So from a young age, you're being exposed to music from all around the world, and it's sort of seeping in, and it's influencing you later in life. Do you think?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think we were following European hits because definitely like European dance music was dance music. It was,
Yeah.
What people here call Italo disco was new wave, and also like Euro dance was part of the new wave. Yeah, it's and you can hear it everywhere on the radio. Definitely. I was telling this to another interview. Like you would hear people do the clapping sounds from the Cures close to me, like outside of our house, to
Right.
call each
Okay.
other. That's how like obsessed the people are with music, like where I grew up. And I could say like, like in Manila, like I guess the Philippines, like we love music.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Well,
Everywhere.
that's good. That's great. Well, let's pause there with the chat and let's hear the first of your 7, possibly more if we have time. But let's
Sure.
hear the first of the 7 that you've selected out. So if you tell us what it is and why you've chosen it, and then we can have a listen for about, I don't know, about a minute and a half, 2 minutes, something like that.
Sure. So this song is called Smile by the New Minstrels. I chose this because bahala na. Because basically I just prepared all this like after I woke up today. Bahala na is the theme of all my shows. Whatever will be, and it's also like you said, when if you came here, I'll be like, bahala na, I'll just play this. But I'm actually I will be sharing only Filipino artists with you today. Even though I
Excellent.
have a lot of other stuff, but that's what I feel like sharing today.
That's perfect.
Yes.
That's
Sorry.
perfect. Okay, let's hear it then.
Okay. Oh, and a Japanese group recently put out a cover of this, and it's not good at all.
Okay.
Hello, beautiful day. Would you like to go? And sorry, but I can't. There are a million things I have to do today. You know what? I've got something to say. I'd really like to say. I've heard it all before. Excuse me, but I don't believe a single word I say. Won't you sit a while? Please give me a chance and let me find a way to make you smile. Baby, I'm so sorry. Oh, I love you so. Won't you look at me and smile?
Yes, I love that song.
That's a lovely tune. That's a lovely tune. So just tell us who sings that.
This is the New Minstrels, and this is one of the originals called "Smile" out on Octo Arts International. Um, let's see. It is arranged by Eddie Munhi the third. I also have his other music and words and music by Butch Montserrat. Don't see. I don't actually remember when this came out, but yeah, this is one of my favorite 7 inches.
That's a lovely track and a really great choice to start. Thank you. That's a really good one. That's not something I've heard before, and that's part of the point of this show. It introduces me and also hopefully the viewers to music that we wouldn't otherwise hear, because obviously we can't listen to every single Twitch stream that everyone puts out, and it's great just being able to sort of condense it down to 7. But that's great. Okay, so we've started sort of from a young age, and obviously in the Philippines now. In terms of DJing side of it, obviously I know when you were 20, you moved over to DC. Were you doing any DJing before you moved to DC or not?
Yeah, yeah. So actually, I started DJing in my teens. Uh, excuse me.
Why is getting in the way?
My mic. But anyways, so I started DJing. I'll tell you, it's funny because basically I was playing in a bunch of bands, and then my family is basically like, "You need to do your job, which is like go to college and just stay there and stuff like that."
Okay.
So I stopped playing in bands, but then I was just like, I couldn't. I needed it out of my system, so I started DJing.
Okay.
Yeah, I started DJing at this gay club. Well, this club at in Makati called Abby G's. But actually, before that, that was the where I had the residency every Thursday. We called it Thrift Thursdays. People would sell like clothes and other things that they made. Some people would do. My friend Alvin would do like piercing. It's really not legal, but like no one had a license to do any of
Right.
this stuff, and I'm not even 21 yet. Well, drinking age in the Philippines is 18. But anyways, the rock club that I used to play at with my bands is called Club Dread, and at Club Dread, my friend Romel was the sound tech. And he would let me fiddle, with the lights, with the equipment. And they have CD players there. So like
Right.
sometimes he'd be like, yeah, bring something. You can play. So yeah.
Cool. So how old were you then? You said the drink age was 18. When did you start then? In your teens?
16, I think, when I
Okay.
started playing shows, 15 or 16.
And had you been playing at home, or were you literally taking your CDs down and playing CDs when you got there?
Oh, sorry. When I was playing shows with my band, I was 15, 16. when I started DJing, I think I was 17 because I remember. Oh no, I was 18. I was already 18 when I started having the residency.
Okay.
But yeah, I would bring CDs and like just like a couple of 7 inches. They had CD players at that club, which is kind of high tech for like late 90s, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And I would take a bus an hour away to get there with my Case Logic, and also like just like very little 7 inches that I would carry because I'm trying to be as minimal as possible.
And what sort of stuff were you playing at those sort of early gigs?
Indie pop, indie like Britpop, what you call, like some punk stuff. I dabbled in drum and bass. It's just all over the place, really.
That's a pretty good mix then. Yeah, Britpop, indie pop, and drum and bass as well, all in the same set. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I could play whatever I want. And punk, just really whatever.
That's the sort of beauty of those sort of gigs, and when we get to it, Twitch, obviously the beauty of being able to play whatever we want. Okay, before we move to you moving to the DC, then let's have another record though. So this is number 2. What have you got, and why, and what is it?
Sure. Actually, I changed my mind. Let's play something.
Go ahead. Change your mind as much as you like. It's all cool.
At first, I was like, let's play this slow song, but I think I want to play this super upbeat song by Passionata.
Okay.
They're a lady group. They had some hits in Japan, but like I said, I'm playing only Filipino records today for you. Play till the chorus. Disco every day to forget about you. Disco every day, night and day. Take away the sadness, and because of dancing, something like that.
Well, hold on. Just do that. I was going to ask you what that was because it sounds great, but I've got no idea what they're saying. But so disco every day to forget you. So
yes.
Is it like a breakup song?
Yeah, it has bittersweet lyrics. I don't know if it's a breakup song. Maybe because I don't understand if she actually went out with that person.
Oh, okay.
It could just be about a crash. So we don't know. But this
disco
song
every day to forget the crush or the boyfriend or whatever it is, girlfriend.
Exactly. Disco Araw-Araw. Disco every day. This song is written by Jim Paredes of Apo Hiking Society, also another group that I love and I play all the time at OPM Sundays.
And when is that from? When was that released?
See, the tricky part about these records, it doesn't really say. It doesn't say, but I am pretty sure it's early 80s. This one on Gem. None of these say the 7 inches, say nothing. I'm even surprised when it says who wrote it.
Fair enough. Someone, I can't remember who it was. Someone put a post in one of the groups the other day about how if you're putting out music, the least you can do is put in the label what year it was, so that further down so people can actually have an idea of when it's released.
I know. So many of these, it's just it really doesn't say. And sometimes the only thing I could go on, how do you say, is because I heard it around that time. You know what I
Sure.
mean?
Yeah, sort of connection with what was going on in your life whenever you heard it and where you would have been.
Exactly.
That sort of thing. Yeah. No, again, well, another great record. Again, I would have never have heard that if you hadn't played it. So thank you so much. That's another great one.
You're welcome.
Okay, so you
that's my point. Whenever you have me guest for things, I'm like, yes, that's my point. Because why DJ? I don't know. I'm sorry to say this, but it's like, if you have gigs such as like Twitch, why play what you have to play at like more mainstream gigs? Share something different.
It's very true, and obviously it's a very different. We were talking about this before the show started, and we'll get to it again when we talk a bit more about Twitch. But it's also you haven't got okay. You've got the chat, you've got your viewers, and obviously you've got to entertain them in some way or whatever. But it's not the same as having to keep people on the dance floor, having to keep a venue owner happy or promoter or whatever, where
Yeah.
you might have to play stuff that is a bit more upbeat or a bit more commercial or a bit more known or whatever. Whereas with Twitch, it's your channel. You can do what you want.
Exactly.
That's the beauty of it. But we will talk a bit more about Twitch in a bit.
Yes.
Okay. So you hit about 20 and you moved to DC. Was that you on your own? Was that with family? How did you come to move to DC?
I was pregnant with my son.
Okay.
And I just happened to get my papers, and we're not well to do back home.
Right.
So at 20, I was like, okay, I have a chance to go to the US and we'll try to make a better future for my kid.
Yeah. And see what happens.
Yeah.
And you're still there, so it obviously went well.
Yeah, my son just graduated college.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's hard to talk about it, so all this is connected to
other stuff. Okay, cool. A bit of a culture shock moving to the US from the Philippines.
A lot of culture shock.
Yeah. How did that go to start with? Were you sort of accepted into the community, or was it quite difficult to start with?
Well, first of all, Washington, D.C. is not like California. California is great. Like, there's a lot of other Filipinos, the Filipino Americans that I met here, and are very different than me. But then at the same time, I'm very different back home as well. It's like, it's hard to find home,
Okay.
Because even back home, everyone like thinks I'm a foreigner because of the way I look, the way I dress, the way I go about doing my things, right? It was a bit of a culture shock, but I managed because my goal was to make a better future for my kid and also to keep sane. So yeah. Hi, Deanna. Sorry.
That's all right. We've got a few people in the chat. I'll say hello to a couple of other people. We've got Mark Lancaster and Mark Funk. We've got DP6. I can't pronounce the name of the person
DP.
on. No, the person who's on at the moment.
Tamachacha.
Okay, Tamachacha. I'll try. Probably pronounced that wrong. Okay. So when you get to DC, have you brought your record collection with you? And are you starting to DJ in DC, or did that come later?
I think if I remember correctly, my first DJ gig might have been in 2000. So I did DJ shortly after I moved here, but it's hard to balance things, especially in a foreign land. I didn't come here like the way other people came here. So, but I brought some CDs, some records, some tapes. I brought some, but I don't remember when I started having more regular. I think more regular gigs would have been 2001, 2002, something like that.
And the music you're playing at those gigs then, is it similar to what you've been playing back home, back in the Philippines? Or were you then digging for music in America and sort of selecting from there?
Around that time, I guess what I had then, dude, I was so poor. I was literally so poor. But at the same time, in the early 2000s, a lot of people weren't buying, or I should say that I would find so many records for like 50 cents,
Yeah.
$1, you know? So yeah, I mean, my taste, there's something with the music that I like, and there's something with the music that I like to play. There's they're all connected somehow. So I'm able to to connect all of them together. The stuff from back home and the stuff that I started liking from here. So
There was some sort of common thread, or like sort of connecting the dots and things that sort of.
like, for example, if
Right.
there's a good hook, I'm a sucker for a good hook. I'm a sucker for a great saxophone solo.
Yeah.
I love that stuff. Like if it's jangly, that So I should say, yeah. But then I guess I only started playing hip hop here when I moved here, because I had a regular night before where I only played like golden era hip hop, New Jack Swing.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff.
And that was all stuff picked up when you came to the US.
Picked up here, but
Yeah.
like I liked them when I was home. I just didn't buy it back home.
Okay. Cool. All right. Let's pause there and have another record then. So,
Sure.
what have you chosen? What would you want to play for number 3?
Okay, for number 3, hold on, let me cue it real quick. Okay, so this is Celi Bautista. She was a member of Mabuhay Singers. Mabuhay Singers, you would see those records at thrift stores, and I didn't know anyone buying this stuff before, but I think this has got to be like the funkiest kundiman ever written. Kundiman is our love songs. Like
Okay.
that's a term for it. Yeah, and I've never heard anyone play the song before. So, shall we give it a listen?
Please, let's do it.
O pag-ibig na makapangyarihan, pag pumasok sa puso ninuman, hahamakin pati kasabihan, masunod na mga minamahal. O pag-ibig, sana'y iyong itangin, ang puso kong malao ng sawi, at ayaw kong lumapang muli, kaluluwa'y lunod na sa bighati. Ya'y buhay kaya ng manitali, dahil sa'yo pag-ibig. O pag-ibig, o pag-ibig, pang-abala ka sa isip. Ngunit kahit na ganyan, magtitiis pa rin, pagkat ang puso kong ito ay may minamahal. At di man mamaliw sa buhay kong ito, magpakailan pa man.
Yeah, again, a love song. Pag-ibig. Pag-ibig means love.
I was going to say, what's that one about then? Because again, it's beautiful, but I have no idea what they're saying.
So the title is O Pag-ibig na makapangyarihan, O Powerful Love.
Okay. So is she singing about her love for someone else, or just that love is powerful?
Yeah, it's like
Love it. I love in the whole. Is it the
yeah,
whole?
in the whole, yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's a beautiful. I mean, it's almost. I don't know if that's from a film, but it sounds like it could be from some sort of love, romantic film of some sort from the 60s. I don't know.
I don't know if it's ever been in a film, but Filipino love songs are beautiful and cinematic.
Yeah.
And it's I love it so much. So, So what I've been playing is OPM, original Filipino music. But a couple years ago, I added the plus because some of it is covers, interpretations, and then I asked my friend Joel Kizan to help me like write a short, because I'd be like, oh, OPM plus, we play music by our people. I sound goofy, but anyways, he helped me write down OPM, original Filipino music plus roots, pop, and covers from the Philippines and diaspora. So yeah, that's OPM. That's very, but this one is very Filipino.
Yeah, and there's an emote. Obviously, there's an emote.
Yes.
I love OPM.
Yes.
Definitely. And also roots and covers, because I think it might have been the 45-day live stream. I think you played some Philippine covers, and I love cover music anyway. But it was amazing to hear a completely different community and a completely different language covering some really interesting songs. I'm not going to tell you what to play, but if you have got any covers, then maybe you can slip one in later on. But we'll get to
the
that.
next one is a cover because
this isn't planned. I didn't plan that at all. But
the next one is a cover. I got
perfect.
you.
Okay, amazing.
And the next few ones might be covers. We'll see, because I obviously prepared like more than I need here.
Yeah. No, every guest complains that 7 is never enough. So we always try and sneak in a few bonus ones, but we'll see how far we get. Okay, so you're in DC. You're starting up doing some DJing 2001, 2002. You're also a photographer now. Is that happening at about the same sort of time, or did the photography come later?
I know. I've been a photographer for a long time. My parents were both photographers, so I've been like I had my first SLR camera when I was in second grade or something.
Okay.
But, photography for a living. I was doing all this just for fun, right? I was DJing for fun back then.
Okay.
I'm still DJing for fun these days, but also this is what I do for a living. I DJ and take photos for a living. But anyways, yeah, I was doing it at the same time. Like DJ, taking photos.
And in terms of the photography then, is there a particular style that you have sort of grown into or that you take?
Yeah, I prefer, so at that time it was all film, obviously. I did a lot of event photography and also portraiture. So even now my specialty is portraiture and events, just like documentation, like making sure your conference doesn't look boring.
That's quite an art for a lot of conferences, I imagine.
It is, because you want to make it enticing so that people will sign up for the next conference that you're going to have, because we are in Washington DC. Like I photograph people lobbying at the Hill, in Capitol Hill. Except I haven't done that since the pandemic started. One second, Oscar, be quiet, please. Sorry. Yes, sorry, I had to, because my spouse is like washing dishes over there. Like, can you do that later? Anyways,
this is real life. This is Twitch. This is the thing. Stuff happens. We've had dogs, we've had cats, we've had children come on the show, and they all want to be part of the show. It's just the way it goes.
I'd wash dishes later, please. Thank you. Oi, thank you, oi.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's cool. Okay, yeah. So photography and DJ. I think they sort of go hand in hand. I'm not a professional photographer, but I've certainly done photography in the past, and I did a lot of film photography and cross processing, slide film, and stuff like that. And I think there is something that both sort of go together, because it's sort of creative stuff, and certainly with DJing, it's just trying different things and trying different styles and angles and all sorts of stuff like that.
I had freaking. Do you know what Target is? That shop.
The shop, yeah. I've heard of Target.
They used to have, developing, like film developing area, and I would ask them to cross-process slide film.
Yeah,
and it would mess up the chemicals. I'm horrible.
Yeah. No, we used to do. I don't know if it's an equivalent. There's a supermarket here called Asda, which is a pretty big one. I think it's owned by Walmart. And again, in our local town, they used to have a photo processing thing, and it was cheap. It was like £2 to process slide film. And I'd always have to sort of talk to them and say, "Look, do it." And they're like, "Oh no, it's going to mess it up." I was like, "No, be fine, be fine." So I'd talk them into it. They'd do it, and then, like you say, later they'd complain later. But I got my cross-processed film really cheap. It was brilliant,
We're horrible. We're horrible.
Exactly. But and then they shut down. Not because of me, but they shut down.
Oh, because of you.
So now it's quite expensive to do. So I need to find somewhere cheaper to do it. But yeah, right. I'm intrigued at what that cover is. So what have you got there on that deck? What is the cover record you've got?
I love to play this song. If you are a regular in my channel, you've heard me play this. It is Inggit Lang Sila by Haji Alejandro. You'll recognize what cover this is.
Let's do it.
Hi, Sam!
Huwag kang maniniwala sa storya ng iba. Ang katunayan, di ba mahal na mahal kita? At kahit ano pa ang marinig ko sa iba, ay alam kong pansira lang. Ano ba naisip mo? Oh, di ba inggit lang sila? Inggit lang sila. Inggit lamang. Inggit sila. Inggit lang sila. Bakit ba?
Yeah. Isn't it so good?
I think that run a little bit more.
Yes, let's listen more. Because I want to play up to my favorite parts.
Bakit di tumigil ang mga sinasabi nila? Ano ba nagawa ko? At nangis pa nila siraan tayo? Oh, di ba inggit lang sila? Inggit lang sila. Inggit lamang. Inggit sila. Inggit lang sila. Bakit ba?
Oh, hello. This part? Someone told me that you were with someone else the other day. You better tell me the truth.
Ang bihira ka naman eh. Alam mo naman walang iba.
Oh, come on, there's no one else. So, obviously, this song is an interpretation of Work to Do, right? But
Yeah.
the lyrics were not translated as Work to Do. It is Inggit Lang Sila, which translates to they're just jealous, or they're jealous.
Okay. So that's
So-
what that whole telephone conversation's about. You're cheating on me. No, I'm not. What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. That's basically it. See, you got it. You're understanding Tagalog now.
I'm not getting it from the song. I'm getting it from you. Your translation.
Yes, that is how I answer the phone. You better call me Sam Tweaks. What are you doing?
Yeah, Sam. You couldn't even spell your name right earlier. It's not like I did that myself earlier, but good old Sam, the fastest pun in the West, East, West. I don't know where he is.
We all love Sam Tweaks.
Yeah. I still love him. I spent a week with him, and I still love him. So he's a good guy. He's a good guy.
Hopefully we'll all DJ together one day.
One day, yeah. Well, I mean, this is we started sort of touching on you sort of being real life friends with Vinyl Honey as well. But
Yes.
let's jump forward. Let's jump forward to that, and then we'll come back to Twitch. So yeah, tell me about that then. So obviously, Vinyl Honey. Did you know her before Twitch, or is she someone you've met through Twitch?
Vinyl Honey and I met on Twitch. I would see her in the chats, and I don't remember how I came to her channel. Maybe a raid but anyways, I was like, oh, we love the same stuff, And then eventually, I don't know, we clicked, and we're close in age. We both have kids. So, well, I have one kid, but but yeah. So we didn't know each other before Twitch, and a couple oh no, not a couple of months ago, last month, I want to tell you all about something. So last month, my friend Lisa and now new friends that are her friends, we started a rock camp for Filipinx girls in San Francisco. And it
Okay.
was amazing. So basically, we had 11 kids, 11 girls, ages 5 to 14. And some of them sort of knew how to play instruments. Some of them do play instruments, some don't. And some sort of sing, like it's just like different levels. But we separated them into two bands, and within 5 days, so the camp was 5 days, and then the showcase was the sixth day. We taught them about songwriting. We trained them in just basic instruments. We taught them how to DJ, to set up and break down.
Amazing.
And song structure, songwriting, as many things as we can squish in those days. And also we taught them how to make merch. They helped Drew their, because there were two bands. Cold Taste Calamansi. Calamansi is a Filipino citrus. And the other one was the Baddie Bobas. So
So cool.
it was so much fun, and it was important for me to I named the camp Sampaguita. Sampaguita is the first lady rocker that I knew of growing up that's Filipino. And it was important for me to teach these kids about DJing because of my experience of being belittled as a DJ, that it's not an instrument, that this is not being a musician, even though I am a musician. I played in a bunch of bands. So I had to tell them okay, well, this is it. And this is how, because yes, that's what I did. So that's why I was in the Bay Area. So then that Sunday, because I went back home on Monday. That Sunday, I drove to Sacramento. It's like 3 hours to see Vinyl Honey. I met Vinyl Honey, her partner Boogie Gangsta, and I hung out with Triple O Souls, and also OG Crook One. I saw we had OPM Sundays at 12 Swax, and also before I left, I went to see Shotgun Shima. I surprised him at his DJ gig. He was he was shocked. I still think we kind of look alike, but
Well, that's what Sam's saying. Sam's saying twin sisters.
we are. Oh, Deanna, you're cute. Thank you, Sam. Yes, OPM Sundays is a great show. I am proud of our show. It's with me, Joel Kizan, and Mr. Enriquez. But we spent all day. Vinyl Honey and I spent all day with our friends, and we went to 916 Pressed. It's a record store, cafe, food place, and then we went to 12 Wax. Oh, and we had lunch, of course. To me, it's all about music, friendship, and food.
I mean, there's so much in just that few minutes that you've talked about. So let's just go back a little bit. So it's a little bit like a condensed sort of School of Rock, but a camp for Philippine girls to basically be able to know how in the future to sort of be in a band, to be DJing, to promote themselves. That's amazing. That is amazing. I have to give it to you. That is brilliant.
Well, I've been involved with Girls Rock Day Camp here in DC since inception. And in DC, the demographics are different than in California, obviously. Yeah. So most of our youth were Black girls and white girls, and then Latinx girls. And then there would be like one Asian girl, one Asian American girl. And I'm always like, I wonder if they're Filipino. I'm so excited. But then my friend Lisa, she's born and raised in the Bay Area, and she has a daughter who wanted to learn to be in a band, like to have an after-school program to train her more with drumming and stuff like that. But then because of Omicron, the Girls Rock I think it was in Oakland or San Francisco, it was canceled, the after-school program. So she was like, do this. So we did it. Because to me, it's like, when I was telling some friends about this, they're like, oh, I wish I had that. And when I was growing up, and I'm like, okay, but like, this is why we're doing this. So just fucking do it. Just do it. Just do it. That's what I say.
I mean, and I also like that you're not just teaching them, right, this is how to DJ or this is how to do this. You're teaching them the actual mechanics of, right, this is how you set up, this is how you pack down, because we were talking.
I made them do it.
Yeah, because they've got to learn it. We did a show on Sunday where we would talk to about the next generation of DJs, 45 DJ, and we had DJ Arlo from the Sunday Get Down, and we all gave him some advice. And that's one of the things I said to him. I said, look, make sure you know how to set your turntables up, how to plug a mixer in, because at some point you're going to turn up to a gig and it's just going to be some dusty old decks that are behind there that haven't been set up properly, and you need to be able to know how to do these things in order to perform your craft, because like you say, it is an art, it is technical, and it's not just turning up and push a couple of buttons. You need to know how to do this stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it was a really quick workshop, but like, I think it's important enough to even just to show those things, right? And to tell them, like, there's different kinds of mixers, and this is how I usually DJ and stuff like that. I don't know, man. I've been it's hard to not be a man and to be a DJ. That's all I can say. So I don't want them to go through what I go through, but you can't really stop men from being assholes, right? Like, to like, do you know what you're doing? Like, stuff like that, even though you're like, dude, I'm freaking older than you. Like, leave me alone. I mean, older than you, meaning I've been doing this a long time. So
exactly. And again, some of the guests we've had on before have talked about exactly this, the sort of mansplaining, or the sort of man sort of looking over and sort of saying, you shouldn't be DJing like that. And some, unfortunately, of my women DJs who've come on the show have discussed all the problems they have had. And yeah, hopefully by talking about it, things will start to get better. And it's one of the things I'm trying to teach my daughter. Obviously she's 8 and she's starting to DJ, and I'm trying to teach her, things. And it's, obviously I'm from a male point of view, but obviously I'm trying to say to her, from speaking to people like you, these are the things that you're going to have to face at some point if you're going to carry on in anything. It's not just DJing, it's life in general.
Oh, it's both the things I do for a living.
Yeah.
DJing and taking photos, it's dominated by men, right? And it's just it's ridiculous. Like the stuff that I have to go through on the daily. Just I can go on and on. What's so like one of the things that I appreciate on Twitch is that I get to rant. Like, sometimes when I'm DJing, I DJ every Sunday. I used to DJ every Friday, but I've been booked and not able to stream from all of the venues that I DJ from. But it's like, oh, hi everyone. Can I tell you about what happened to me this past weekend? Like, and people listen, and just sharing it helps, and it's funny because I do have clients who tune in, and I appreciate them so much for like still wanting to work with me even though I complain. But what I'm sharing is not me complaining about nothing. It's like, like someone threw a napkin or a piece of paper, I don't remember, I think it was a napkin, towards the speaker because I didn't want to play his request because I didn't have it, because I was playing an all vinyl set and I wasn't playing that kind of music. Yeah. Like stuff like that. But that just happened recently, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, there's someone put a post up the other day about this woman came up to the DJ booth and handed the DJ 2 A4 pieces of paper with a whole load of requests, and then came back 30 minutes later complaining that none of them had been played. And apparently this is just what they do when they go out. They just hand the DJ, and you're just like, well, I mean, that's just so rude. It's ridiculous. But
the DJ, because like I would be more than happy to play all your requests if you hired me and paid me my rate.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And also if it's not all vinyl, because like it's kind of hard to do that.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, that is the really good get out of vinyl. Well, if I've got it on vinyl, it's here, I'll play it, of course, but I haven't got it, or I've got that one at home, I can't play it. It is a lot easier. But then you get just put it on your phone, or just get it on your laptop, or just, this, that, and the other. And anyway.
Wait, there's something funny, because so when I DJ, private events sometimes, most of the time at, for example, weddings, I'm not going to do
Oh, weddings are
all
hard.
vinyl. No, I used to all vinyl and CDs. Like that's what I used to do at weddings when I started. I started DJing weddings in 2002, but the thing is, like, my laptop is from 2012, so when or 2011. So when people are like, "Oh, can you just download?" I'm like, I don't want to crash my Serato. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yes.
And Sam is a wedding. I know you wouldn't believe it, but Sam is a wedding DJ for a living.
No, Sam.
Twitch is his creative side of it, but then he's also quite creative with the stuff he plays at weddings as well. So with his edits and things like that.
I should put my my Wedding Wire reviews on here. I have a 5-star Wedding Wire review here. You'll find it. Oh no,
Yeah.
vinyl honey, I'm sorry. I'm gonna punch them for you. Just kidding, everyone. I don't punch people.
Right. Let's pause. Let's pause with the chat for a minute, and let's hear some more music. I always lose count. I think this is number 4, maybe 4 or 5. I don't know. But it doesn't matter.
This is number 5, and
Number 5. But let's have a listen. Tell us what it is, and let's have a listen to it.
okay, so anyone who's been in my stream know how obsessed I am with pandesal. It's Filipino bread. So if you are subscribed to my channel, please feel free to throw in that the pandesal emote. This is an interpretation of what is that song? I Feel Sanctified by the Commodores.
Okay.
Ay, ang gusto ko'y hot pandesal. Ay, ang gusto ko'y hot pandesal. Ay, ang gusto ko'y hot pandesal. Ang nobya kong mahal, mahilig sa hot pandesal. Kahit na walang palaman, sa kanya ay okay lang. Ngunit ang nobya ko naman, gusto'y sari-sari palaman. Mantikilya at keso, o kaya'y matamis na bango. Yeah! Ay, ang gusto ko'y hot pandesal. Ay, ang gusto ko'y hot pandesal. Sa lahat ng kanto, hot pandesal.
So I mean,
That's so funky.
yeah, and this is obviously not about feeling sanctified, right? This is a song about hot pandesal, a hot bread. One of my favorite things to eat, hot pandesal, fresh from the oven. Like growing up, every morning we had hot pandesal. And you know what? I got a hot pandesal plug in the chat. Slow-mo Jojo sometimes brings me, well, okay, it's not hot. It's warm pandesal from the heat. Yeah, at gigs. Sometimes she would show up and bring me pandesal at my gigs.
So I like bread and pastries and things like that. So what sort of bread is it? Is it like I don't know, is it like a baguette? Is it like
It's like a dinner roll.
like
basically.
a dinner roll? Okay.
But
But is it like a sweetened dinner roll? Or
No,
just a
it's
completely
just like
savory?
a soft yet like crunchy and like some crumbs on top of it. Oh, you're making me hungry.
Well, you're making me hungry. Yeah. Sam, the theme to bread on 45. Yes, that'd be good. I haven't got it. There used to be a TV show in the UK called Bread, set somewhere up
What?
north. Yeah, set somewhere up north. I was very young when it came out, so I don't remember much about it. Sam's a little bit older than me, so he'll probably remember more about
Are we the same age?
Liverpool. He's not actually. Sam's about 2 months younger than me.
Oh.
Liverpool. That's right. Yeah. I'll have to go back and watch it. But yeah, I'm sure Sam's got that theme tune. But yeah, so that's a tune about bread. That's amazing, and it's so funky.
Yeah.
You know, that is so good. And then there you go. ADSR Thug. He's in my good friend in real life who's in Santa Monica. Bread meaning money, your earnings. That's
ADSR Thug. Hello.
Yeah. Hello. He's looking. Yeah, Sam's looking for the bread theme tune. I don't. It might be. It might be on 7. It might have been about the right time. Let's move back a little bit. We've talked. Well, actually, no. Let's finish. So, was that the first time you saw Vinyl Honey in real life?
Yeah, that was the first time I saw her and met her.
And
we met outside a restaurant.
So I know what my experiences have been like seeing these DJs who I've seen on Twitch. It's been a little bit like a long lost friend, someone you know really well, but you're only seeing them for the first time in real life, and it's just like you just talk and talk and talk, and it's like you haven't seen this person, and you've got so much to talk about. Was it a bit like that?
Yeah, but but also, even though we haven't met in person, I feel like we're real friends because we spend so much time together. Like our Twitch community, we just hang out all the time, And also, the other thing is, I'm as real as you can get. Like how I am in person, this is how I am in real life. Like I may not cuss a bunch if I'm not doing a gig for work, like. But yeah, it was it felt like what you're saying is if it felt familiar. Yes, it did, of course, because we spend time hanging out on Twitch and like texting each other, and like yesterday we were supposed to do an only mom stream, but we were both kind of pooped and I was still editing photos, so we were just texting each other some skincare things. Yeah, it's why not? Because we gotta take care of our skin.
Yeah, and I think what you're saying is very true, isn't it? Because of the way Twitch is set up.
Not only blondes, only moms. Sorry, Sam. Sorry, you were saying.
Sam, me and Sam can do only baldies. Maybe that's the next one we can do. But I think the point is this, isn't it? Because of the way Twitch works, and again, we were talking about this a little bit before we came on the show. We're very vulnerable, aren't we? We're putting ourselves out there. We talk a lot in our streams, as does some other people. And obviously your personality comes through, and that's what people tune in for. I think, yes, the music is very important, but obviously I think it's the personality of each streamer and the uniqueness of each channel and each streamer that's what brings people in. So yes, of course you're going to be like this in real life, because you're not putting it on, you're not pretending to be something you're not, so when you are meeting up with these people in real life, they are exactly how they are. And I know that from meeting Sam. He is exactly how he is on the streams.
Yes. Oh, Vinyl Honey wrote only balds. No.
Yeah. That's our next show. We will get there. We're men of a certain age, and we are all getting older. Middle-aged men getting older and
hey, I also feel like I'm balding a little bit, so I've been buying stuff for it. It's just it's the age. Yes. Anyways, keep going.
Okay. Let's have another tune, and then we'll talk about Twitch. So if you've got one ready, let's have another tune.
This is the last cover that I'm about to play. I found this record on my last trip to the Philippines a few months ago. I did, so I went there for a project and also to dig. So I don't know if y'all are familiar with jeepneys. They are public mode of transportation. They originated from jeeps that Americans brought to the Philippines, and then we made it into an elongated, mode of public transportation. And my paternal grandfather, and both my uncles were all jeepney drivers. And the previous president, Duterte, has he put out a memo in 2017 that he was going to phase out all the old Jeeps to replace them with e-jeepneys, which is like the eco-friendly person in me is like, oh, that's nice. But then at the same time, it's like, man, this is part of our culture, like the jeepneys. So anyways, when I was in shooting jeepneys, like the old jeepneys that I was looking for, I went digging, and I found this record in Cebu, and it actually had a bunch of mold. It was one of the records that was like black mold, like literally it was black, like. But so I had to soak it a little bit. Thankfully, the label is still there. I'm surprised, but yeah. Let's listen to this song. You'll recognize what this cover is. And And this is not in Tagalog. I think it's in Bisaya or Cebuano.
Sobra na mga lalaki, ibo na ang iyong pamilya.
You cannot Google this, not even her name.
Dami, kuya na, kung intaw kami. Mga lalaki, pilit kaputi, umuarti sa mga babae. Sukuhang yung dala ang tubo, mo saan pa nga dilimon-liko. Sobra na kang mga lalaki.
So this is Thelma Belser, Mga Lalaki Mau Kini. And obviously it's a cover of or interpretation of That's the Way by Casey and the Sunshine Band. And my friend told me that he thinks it translates to men, your time is up. Which is amazing. I was like, oh my God, really? But anyways, yeah.
That's brilliant. I was expecting it to be something about, after the last one was about bread, maybe this was about potatoes or something, but men, your time is up.
Yes. That's what he said. But I don't speak what she's. We have like hundreds of languages, different languages in the Philippines, or over 100. I mean.
So is that like a different dialect then in the Philippines?
It's not a dialect. It's a language.
Just a different language. 100 different
Yeah.
languages. Wow, wow,
Over
that's amazing. That's amazing. And do they? Sorry to go all languagey. Do they share certain words? And is there certain words that are the
Some
same
don't.
across them, or not?
Like not even like you won't even understand at all, and even the sound and the tone, like not at all. But
That's
maybe
crazy.
some do, or like it means differently.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Poly- polyglot. I don't even know what that means, Sam. Okay. Sorry, ADSR Thug is saying he's got a 1970s South Korean groovy moog album on 12-inch. It's only not on Discogs Records. That's because Sam was saying that you find records in the Philippines that don't exist on Discogs.
Yeah, I have a lot of records that are not on Discogs, and I refuse to add anything on Discogs.
Well, no, exactly. You shouldn't add stuff that you've got, certainly, because it's it's your stuff. It's what makes you unique, isn't it?
Right. So I don't know. I get really annoyed. Like of course, Discogs is an open market, but some of these people are pricing like. I had to call someone out on Discogs, a Filipino seller actually from Cebu City. So I told him, "Can you block me? Because you can't block a seller, right?" Although I did find like a plug-in that you can possibly do that. But anyways, I asked him to block me because I can't afford any of his music, and he was like, "Oh, he answered like, "Oh, that's cute. Like, what exactly do you like?" That I'm just like, dude, what you're doing is exploitative. Just stop it. Like I answered him back because but he still didn't. It's like he's selling LPs for like $1,000, like $2,000, like $800. Like it's insane. Like who are you trying to sell to? I don't understand you.
Yeah, it's again, it's an interesting one because again, people put posts up, and I think it's Pete Isaac from 45 Live put something today. So the median is something like £15. The highest is like £60, and then this seller's got it on for like £700, and you're just like, what the hell, who is going to buy that? But
people do buy that.
Maybe there is someone who's going to buy it. I don't know. It seems ridiculous.
There's a 7-inch that's been on my want list for like 20 years, and
yeah.
I know the seller, and he's like, well, I can give it to you for like $350, and I'm like, I can't justify it, right?
That's a lot of money.
But then someone bought it for like almost $500. It was crazy. People are, yeah. Well, anyways, like, congrats to you for earning money, but at the same time, I'm like, damn, like, wouldn't you rather your own people have our music? Because by the way, I have an archive of Filipino music. I've been before it was just like I would buy stuff that I want to play or want to listen to, but now I'm just like I have an archive. Like I'm archiving our music and I share it every Sunday. So
well, exactly, and it's part of your heritage. You know,
Exactly.
it's
And you
important.
know what's very random but so sweet? There's a record store in Seattle called Daybreak. And I've made friends with the owners. I would just, like we get along. They're super nice. Like whenever I'm in Seattle, because my son went to school there, I would go to that place, and they hit me up saying they just bought a bunch of Filipino records, like all clean and stuff. And they posted all of them, and were like, hey, let me know if y'all want this, but Les Talusan gets the first dibs. And they pulled through. Like I marked a bunch of them, and then like they gave me first dibs, and the price was just like, not crazy. It's great. Like they didn't have to. They could have earned more, I guess, if they tried to sell to other people. But I appreciate it because they know what I'm trying to do.
I was going to say, because it's all well and good selling them to a collector who's going to keep them in a vault somewhere, and
Records
hope they go up in
should
price.
be
But you are playing them
yes.
and spreading the culture and spreading
Yes.
the knowledge and spreading the music. If it wasn't for Twitch, I wouldn't hear any of this sort of music that you're playing on
Maybe
any
you
of your streams, and I'm sure a lot of the other people who tune in as well. And surely that it's more important to have a record that they know you're going to play and be able to share with people than have it sitting there, having made another whatever money on top of it, having just sitting there in a box somewhere.
Right. Well, to them and some other record sellers that I've become friends with and I've met, they're
Yeah.
like, I'd rather sell it to you than like let it, which is so nice because it's like, it's not all capitalism. It could also still be like, cultural work and help and yeah.
And also, records were made to be played, weren't they?
That's what I'm saying. Like records should be played. Records should be played.
Yeah. It's
And clean. Records should be cleaned and played.
should be kept clean, no mold, but they should be played.
Yeah, I also do a cleaning stream. Do you know that, Christos?
I didn't know that actually. You clean the records on the stream, and what do you do it before and after? Do you play before and after?
No, I just I clean records while I screen a movie, and then like you can see one of my cameras just like on the VPI while I'm cleaning. Yeah, because it's funny because some, for example, Don Champ Sound, shout out to my homie Don Champ Sound, was like,
big up Don Champ.
I didn't know what VPI was until I saw you have that, and then like Bus Crates came in one time. It's like, is that a VPI? Like, because usually record stores have this, but it's just, I mean, if I'm creating an archive of like some of these records, even though let's say I got them for $1, I can never find them again. So they have to be taken care of.
That's amazing. But again, that's the beauty of Twitch. People will watch you cleaning records. I think we did the Flip Out did one where he just got his new records and it was literally like BPMing them and putting putting the dot on and that, and halfway through there's a hype train going on. He didn't even realize because he's so busy doing just doing the back behind the scenes stuff of being a DJ.
I know it's great. It was funny though because I was like, man, I had more people tuned into this cleaning stream than like the night before when I was playing music. But
there you go. But forget playing the music, just clean it. Just clean the records.
Yeah, and sometimes I would screen a film, or I would play like a record that I have what do you call that I've cleaned already, and I'll just let it play. And people are like, I guess, working in the background and stuff like that. So.
ADSR saying, is this an ultrasonic cleaner, soap and brushes, or is it? I think you said it's a vacuum. Is it a vacuum cleaner?
Yeah, it's a vacuum cleaner. It's a VPI.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. And Ollie's saying BPM stream. That's the next one.
It's so silly. I'll be like.
And as Sam says, some of the Filipinos movies are fab too, because obviously you've got behind your stream, you've got movies sort of
or on the side for OPM Sundays. So for OPM Sundays, we usually have a film, and I remember Sam was really into one of the Alien movies that we were screening. Mr. Enriquez, one of our partners at OPM Sundays, he lives in the Philippines, and he's the one that provides these movies. And yeah, what was last week? I don't remember. But 2 weeks ago, I think we were screening a film that Joel Quezon's uncle was in. Because like Joel Quezon comes from a celebrity family. Like, and
right.
Yeah, so we were screening like comedy, but the Alien, I think Sam loves the Alien movies.
Yeah, he's saying anything with a spaceship. Okay, let's have another track, and then we'll talk a bit about Twitch more.
Sure.
We'll talk more about Twitch.
Okay, so this track, I know Sam Tweaks loves it. So, and I love this song. I always play this song. It's a Pinoy band, funky instrumental, and it's a theme from an obscure Tagalog movie, but I've never seen it. So, this is the Flippers Dogfight. What you think?
That's all we're getting. That's all we're getting.
That's
That was
all you're
amazing.
That's what you're getting.
We have to tune into your streams to watch to listen to
Exactly.
the whole thing.
Exactly. Or when we
Yeah.
DJ together.
Yeah. We will do that. That is a brilliant song. I love that. That's really, really good. Right, Twitch. So let's go back to the beginning. So when did you? I don't know if you were a gamer or not. When did you first become aware of Twitch?
My son used to watch people gaming like all day on Twitch. That's how I knew about Twitch.
Did you get it? Because this is what I at that time, not having been on there, I just didn't understand why would people watch other people watch playing games. It just didn't.
Yeah, I didn't get
The
it.
concept didn't make any sense at that time.
I didn't get it at all. I was like, why would you watch other people play games? I don't understand. And then I was like, okay, maybe to get tactics.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
To get some tactics. But I wasn't really sure. I was just like, whatever, do your own thing. That's it. That's how I knew of Twitch.
And in terms of the DJ side of it, then when did you first get involved with that?
Okay, so obviously, pandemic started, right? And a bunch of us IRL DJs started DJing on Instagram, but it's very frustrating because we get cut,
Yeah.
The songs would get cut. And then my friend Christine, she goes as Julio Travels here on Twitch, was telling me, Ate Les, that means elder sister. Ate Les, you need to DJ on Twitch, and you need to show this motherfuckers all these records that you're playing. That's how she speaks. I'm just repeating. Because I, she's like, yeah, all these guys, like they say they have OPM, but they don't, or like they don't really have the wax, blah, blah, blah. She's very like, just do it. And I'm just like, I don't even know if I understand this Twitch thing. But I think around May 2020, I did stream on Twitch because I was part of a program. They were like, you have to stream on Twitch, but I didn't understand it. I was like, what are these octopus things that Christina's putting in the chat? I really didn't understand it. And then I would stream on Mixcloud. I started streaming on Mixcloud, and then I was like, maybe I can stream on Twitch and Mix. I'm just like figuring it out. And then finally I agreed. I was like, okay, I'll stream on Twitch. And that was it. Like I started streaming on Twitch October 2020.
Yeah.
Doing OPM Sundays. And then eventually Joel Kizan joined me to do it regularly.
And then it sort of builds from there, doesn't it? But it's I think until I got involved in it, it's the chat, isn't it? It's the chat that's the whole beauty of Twitch. And it now makes sense because obviously all those gamers were going to watch someone play. It's like, we go to watch someone DJ and catch the streamer, but then you're also chatting to everyone in the chat, your friends.
Yeah, but I didn't understand it at first because I was like, I refused to have a mic. So my setup was actually in my studio, my photo studio upstairs. That's where I was streaming then. This is just my living room. This is just how my living room looked like. I just moved this year. Anyways, now we don't have a living room. Don't even try to visit me. There's no space at all. Like there's no social
Everywhere's
space.
records. Everywhere's records. Yeah, it's like this
Exactly.
room. Yeah.
Yeah, even my spouse is like, always was like, Les, do you think it's safe that all these records are on this floor? Because like, what if the house collapses? And I'm like, what? Can you not think of stuff like that? He thinks our house will collapse. But yeah, I was typing like we were talking about earlier. I would type back, and then it's just so hard to DJ and type. You know, so then eventually I was like, okay, I'll use the mic, and then I'll answer people back, and eventually I got more and more comfortable just like talking on the mic and then using FX eventually. Anyways, it's funny. It's fun.
But it's also a little bit. It's a bit of a strange one, isn't it? Because I think I don't know. Had you done some digital DJing as well? Obviously, you've done some CDJs, but
yeah. I mean, Serato. I use So in 2009, the nonprofit I was working for closed, and it just so happened, I think before then I was speaking to a DJ who was like, oh, you should check out Serato. It's great. It makes your work much easier, like the lifting and carrying and all that stuff. And then so in September of 2009 was the first month I think that I was gonna DJ for a living. I was like, okay, let me just see if I can do this, like DJ. Eventually, it's like, okay, I should still take photos because I have a lot of clients, and I'm good at what I do. So it's like, okay, let's just keep doing it. But anyways, I taught myself how to use Serato, but badly because I only started using Q points just a few years ago, and that was 2009. So yeah, my point is I'm the worst at technology.
But it's almost like a lot of us. So I mean, I used to do some digital DJing with Contractor. Big up DJ Fade. And I think part of it was the fact that I spent a lot of time just looking at a laptop and just typing stuff and typing records and playing crates, and obviously trying to get back to vinyl. You don't do that, but like you say, with trying to chat, you're then back at the keyboard typing again. But yeah, the mic is the mic is the thing, isn't it? And I think for those who like it, there's no stopping us. And I, you talk quite a lot of the streams. I talk quite a lot of my streams. Most of us do. And then there's other people who don't like talking at all. So Twitch is, I think it's the interaction, isn't it? It's the fact that you can go into a channel, say, hi, Les, and then you say, oh, hi, Christos, or whatever. And it's that immediacy, isn't it? And that's something that Twitch has above quite a lot of other platforms, and certainly DJing in real life, I think.
Yeah, and also unlike, for example, let's say Mixcloud, I don't know. Well, I guess now Mixcloud you can subscribe, but like it's very helpful. Like for me and my channel, it's helpful when people like subscribe and they like give you bits and stuff like that, because then I'm like, especially at that time, especially when I started in 2020, because I had no money. It was horrible. It was like from like fully booked to zero,
Yeah, because I mean, this was your job, wasn't it? DJing and photography, and obviously straight away those two professions are out the window.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, and Twitch has been a lifesaver for quite a few people. I know, obviously, we've had Sam on the show, and he's talked about how he had to sort of make it work because his business wasn't happening. And as he says, Twitch, he says, he says it much more politely than I do. Twitch saved his ass. But yeah, it's one of those things, and it's amazing where it's taken us. I mean, for me personally, I never thought I'd be doing this, hosting a talk show, but it's been amazing talking to so many people, and hearing everyone's stories and hearing the amazing music that they've got in their record collections, which you wouldn't hear otherwise.
Also the other thing is, I think for me it has been helpful because then even local DJs found me on Twitch, and they're like, wait, I didn't know you played this stuff. Like, wait, where are you? because I feel like because we don't know each other because we're always all working. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. Hi, photo. Yeah, it's just it's been so helpful. Like I guess one of the DJs I met, well, I met him in person once, DJ Trebsky. He was doing like a 30-minute workout here with the DJ for a while.
Yeah.
You know, like a couple of weeks ago he invited me to DJ on his like for his bi-monthly gig where he plays like boogie and modern funk and stuff and Italo disco and stuff, you know, and I don't think he would have known that I played this stuff until Twitch. So yeah.
And I think it's also not so much necessarily with the vinyl community, but certainly with a lot of some genres, perhaps house, drum and bass, whatever. There's a lot of sort of competitiveness amongst DJs and trying to get to the top or trying to get to what they want to do. And I think because of Twitch, everyone's sort of on the same level to start with. And people have been able to play whatever they want. But it's the camaraderie, it's the hosting, the raiding, the fact that you can say, right, let's go and check this DJ out. I could raid you, let's go and check Les out. People would never have heard that, and they're like, oh wow, who's this person? Let's follow. And and putting together these raid events, I put together raid events all the time, and it's most people say yes, which is amazing to me every time. And it's just putting together all these people from around the world, all collectively doing something together.
And shout out to you for not always having a sausage party.
I try my best.
I mean, it's not that hard. There are many of us who are not men who DJ. So many. Oh,
definitely. I'm trying to get as many women DJs, as many children DJs, as many men. I think we're getting up to 45-day mixes is about 20%. It's about 20%. And then yes,
I feel guilty. I'm so sorry for not being able to submit any mixes because I'm always like all over the place. But I'll get there.
You've been on a stream though. That's fine. So is Vinyl Honey. Loads of amazing women DJs who, if it wasn't for Twitch or it wasn't for you and other women DJs introducing me to these people, they wouldn't. And anything I can do to get more exposure for DJs is going to be so important.
And also, hey, Sam Tweaks 45 guys. That's the thing. It's like I am a guy too, so I could be a 45 guy. Tell your homie I got a lot of 45s here somewhere around me, all over.
There you go, Sam. That's your homework for today, Sam. You need to get on it.
Yes, I bring me in Vinyl Honey, and we got a lot of 45s.
Yes, definitely. Well, again, Vinyl Honey's been on one of our streams. I think it was the 45 Funksters. I think she was on, or one of the other ones. But if you'd like, anyone, if you'd like to be on a raid event, get in touch. Let's make it happen. There's certainly going to be more raid events going forwards. Right. Let's have another record. Record. What have you got?
So this is going to be a classic Manila Sound, the Manila Sound, classic Manila Sound song by Pat Castillo. It's called Aso't Pusa, Dogs and Cats.
Aso't pusa, tulad natin, magkaaway lahat ng oras. Aso't pusa, tulad natin, imposibleng magkasunduan. Lagi na tayong magkalapit, di na pwedeng magkalapit. Umiiwas sa isa't isa, sa tuwing tayo'y magkasama. Sa tuwing tayo'y magkasama. Aso't pusa.
Yes, Aso't Pusa, Dogs and Cats. Fighting whenever we're together. Something like that.
Another great one. And big shout out to Ollie, who just followed and has become my 1,400th follower. I like round numbers, so that's nice to do it on the show.
Same.
Thank you.
Now I'm at 2,900. No one follow me. Just keep it there. Or if you follow me, you better like make other people follow
Bring
me.
100 people with you to
Bring
get
100.
100 people together to get to 3,000, because then that'll be I'm sure a big party for 3,000. I mean, it's still crazy, isn't it? You know, the amount, and you know, we're small scale compared to someone like Sam, who's small scale compared to someone like Scratch Bastard. I mean, we're watching the other day, something like 55,000 followers, and that's small scale compared to the gamers who've got like, I don't know what the biggest gamer's got, but I mean, I think most of the gamers I see have got at least 300,000 followers, and it's just, yeah. I mean, this is just the start, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, but also, I mean, they stream all the time. Y'all stream all the time. I stream like once a week. Like lately, it's been like 1.5 hours in a week. You know, I'm a little disappointed at my Twitch payout this last month, but I barely stream. That's why on Friday I have a residency at the Eaton Hotel at Allegory. Their speakeasy. So the music director saw me like set up. He's like, "Are you streaming?" I'm like, "Yeah." Good thing like he let me, because they have their own radio show and they're affiliated with Mixcloud somehow. So I'm like, let me stream so I can have more subscribers, because I feel like my you know, like people will forget. People will forget about you if they don't see you. You know.
Yeah, maybe. I think there is a lot of that going on,
No,
isn't
but
there?
I mean, would you renew your subscription if the person doesn't stream? No.
Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah,
that's what I meant.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, life is back to normal, isn't it? And you know,
sort of. I mean, I'm the
yeah,
only one wearing a mask at my freaking gigs, but I'm just like, come on, y'all. This thing is not over.
It's still a little bit tricky here because because obviously we're busy. Well, we're not busy, but there's other stuff going on, taking over the news rather than the fact that COVID is still, you know, well, with us, and lots of people are still getting ill. But yeah, that's where we are in 2022. You know, hopefully by 2023 things will be a bit different. But we will see. We will see. Right, let's squeeze one more record in. Because I loved all the tunes and I want to hear more, but let's do one more, and let's see what you've got, and then we'll sort of find someone to raid out to.
Sure.
If anyone, to save me having a look, if anyone can recommend someone that we can go and raid who's currently live, who's playing 45s ideally, but if not vinyl, then let me know and we'll go and raid them.
Let's raid a lady.
Yes. Is there any?
Yeah, I see Jazabella. I see
is Jazabella playing?
Varela. DJ Vivi Varela. I see Seeps, Forever Seeps. So yeah.
You choose. You're
okay,
the
I'll
guest.
choose, but let's listen to a song.
Listen to a song first.
Yeah. This is Ray Ann Fuentes. This record is kind of hard to find.
Hindi gawang biro ang tayo'y magkawalay. Kung nararapat, gawin na rin natin hirap. Saying goodbye would be too hard to bear. Ako'y iyong nabiyak, ako ay sa'yo giliw.
This is Ray Ann Fuentes. So the version of this song in this album is different. This is a much better version. And yes, I don't think it's on Discogs, no. But there's a bootleg compilation that came out recently, and I think they have this version. So I don't have that comp yet, so I cannot vouch. So Anyways, oh yeah, I think I wanna raid Forever Seeps because
Yeah. Let's do that. Let's do that. I think I've got it set up.
yeah, but yeah, thank you for inviting me to talk about this random stuff and the random stuff I do in my life.
But it's cool, and it's music I haven't heard before. It's music that a lot of people haven't heard before, unless they've been watching your streams, sort of, or your once a week stream. But otherwise, it's just interesting talking to other people. And it's really good. But thank you so much. So what have you got coming? OPM Sundays, is that on this Sunday?
Yes, every Sunday. Every Sunday we have OPM Sundays, and last Mondays of the month is New Wave Heartthrobs with Mike C Music and DJ Neil Armstrong. And then This Is Sad. If anyone wants to guest with us, Aesthetic Fish Wendell made this for me. He has passed away. He was one of our partners at This Is Sad. I'm trying to think of what else we have coming up. And of course, Only Moms when Final Honey and I are in the mood. And my cleaning stream, like it's called Let's Fucking Clean. Thanks for being here, Shaka and Shima. Thank you, DJ Fade, Triplo Souls, Oi, Cut
Big
Class.
Big up to everyone. And we have got Shotgun Shima on next Tuesday. So make sure you tune in for that. But let's go and see Forever Seeps. Thank you so much, Les. That's been brilliant. An amazing show. If you want to watch it back, it will be on YouTube and Mixcloud probably tomorrow. But yeah, let's go
Just
raid.
Cussing if to make it all ages, I guess.
It's fine. Thanks very much. Take care, everyone.